The crackle of the 911 dispatcher's voice echoed through my home office like a bad joke turning deadly serious. We have a report of a dangerous squatter refusing to vacate HOA property at Willow Creek Pond. I froze. Staring at the address on my computer screen, it was my pond. On my land. In the quiet suburb of Elmwood Springs, Colorado. And the caller? None other than Barbara Kensington, the HOA president who'd been gunning for my family's backyard oasis for months, clueless that her emergency was piping straight into the ears of the neighborhood watch coordinator, me. My name's Harlan Brooks. I'm 48, a second-generation homeowner in this sleepy cul-de-sac where the biggest drama used to be whose recycling bin was out too early. The Brooks house has been ours since 1962, when my dad bought it with his GI Bill savings after Vietnam. It's not some sprawling estate, just a modest 3-bedroom rancher on 2 acres, with a half-acre natural pond tucked in the back, fed by an underground spring. Dad dredged it deeper in the 80s, stocked it with base, and taught me to skip stones across its glassy surface. It's where I proposed to my wife, Sarah, under the willows. These days, I work from home as a freelance IT consultant, mow the lawn on Saturdays, and volunteer as the neighborhood watch coordinator unpaid, but it keeps me connected. Sarah teaches 3rd grade at the local elementary. Our daughter, Mia, is off at college in Denver, but she texts me fishing memes every weekend. My mom, Evelyn, 82 and sharp as a tack, lives in the in-law suite and tends her herb garden by the pond's edge. Mornings here smell like fresh-cut grass and Sarah's burnt toast. Simple, unpretentious. Until the subdivision sprouted up next door. 4 years ago, the empty lot to our west got snapped up by a developer from Denver. They slapped together 15 McMansions, each clocking in at $750,000. Marketed to urban escapees from LA and New York craving serene suburban bliss. The HOA Willow Creek Estates coalesced faster than mold in a damp basement, with bylaws denser than a tax code. Our property butts right up against theirs, separated by a chain-link fence Dad installed himself. From their manicured patios, they can glimpse the pond through the trees, but access? Zilch. It's all on our deed, clear as day. First, the newcomers were harmlessly nosy. They'd stroll by the fence, wave, and ask if they could dip a line in. Chuckle, pull out the old survey plat from the county, explain the lines. Most nodded, shrugged, and wandered off with a worth a shot. A couple huffed about community sharing, but that was it. Then Barbara Kensington moved into the end-unit McMansion. Barbara's 55, ex-marketing VP from a Silicon Valley startup, freshly single after a messy divorce. She's all Pilates sculpted and spray-tanned, with hair that's suspiciously auburn for Colorado winters, tooling around in a gleaming black Range Rover with plates reading Pond View. No lie, it's like she manifested her obsession. Barbara's the type who turns courtesy into a cudgel. Every chat drips with, for the greater good, and upholding standards, but it's all camouflage for her control freakery. She's a email ninja, looping in half the neighborhood on gripes about a slightly crooked mailbox. 5 months before that fateful 911 call, she clawed her way to HOA president on a platform of enhancing communal assets. A week later, a certified envelope thumped into my mailbox, bloated with appendices and neon-highlighted clauses like a conspiracy theorist's manifesto. It alleged some dusty 19th century plat map proved a public path right through our yard to the pond. She demanded we grant HOA folks pedestrian access, a gravel trail, and seasonal picnic privileges, or face litigation in 30 days. I shelled out $2,800 for a surveyor and a real estate lawyer. Verdict: pure fantasy. The county clerk laughed it off. No easement. Not in 1890. Not ever. I mailed her the proof. Polite as pie. No sorry from Barbara. She just swiveled to plan B, and our peaceful haven became a battlefield. After my debunking nuked her easement dream, Barbara didn't flinch, she reloaded. 10 days later, another letter arrived, curt and venomous. Now the fence was misaligned, she claimed, accusing us of nibbling HOA common ground for decades. You've been encroaching on community property, it read, like we'd been running a black market sod operation. I snorted at first, then sobered up when I saw she meant business. She hired her own surveyor, a slick out-of-towner with no local cred, the kind you pick when facts are optional. Picture this. I'm in the garage one crisp Wednesday morning, wrestling a leaky garden hose with pliers and a string of curses, when shouts pierce the air. Not neighborly chit-chat, bossy, indignant barks. I step out, squinting into the sun, and there they are, 5 figures tromping across our backyard like it's a public park, armed with stakes, lasers, and notepads, a good 150 yards past our gate. Barbara's at the helm in Lululemon leggings and a designer fleece that screams, "I hike for Instagram," flanked by 4 HOA lackeys and a guy in a high-vis vest lugging gear. I saunter over, keeping cool. Folks, this is private land. No invite, no entry. Barbara pivots with a smile sweeter than aspartame. Oh, Harlan, we're merely clarifying the contested border. Our expert has full authority to assess. If anything, your fence is the intruder. I bite back a laugh. Leave now, or I call the cops. She whips out her iPhone, hits record. Proceed. We're capturing your intimidation for the record. 1 minion. A balding guy in boat shoes unfit for grass. Bobs his head like a dashboard toy. Their polished loafers squelch in the mud, grating like feedback on a mic. I skip the sheriff for now. Instead, I snap pics, faces, tools, license plates. Grin wide, turn heel back to the garage. They mill about, baffled by my non-blow-up, then slink away. That afternoon, I ring my lawyer, Lena Vasquez. Lena's a local legend. Grew up in the burbs, aced the bar, specializes in shredding HOA despots. Even if lines were fuzzy, which they're not, surveyors need permission or a warrant, she says. This is trespass. Pure and simple. Pro tip for any HOA skirmish. In Colorado, unauthorized surveying on private turf is a misdemeanor, ripe for injunctions. Jot that down, it'll arm you. Lena fires off a cease and desist that night, certified and emailed, airtight. I file ethics beef with the state board on her surveyor hack. Boom. Within days, he bails, mailing the board that Barbara misrepresented boundaries and ordered the breach. He flips on her like a bad light switch, leaving skid marks. Her scheme crumbles. HOA whispers turn to mutters. 2 board eyes DM me apologies, admitting they were duped. But Barbara, she triples down, blasting the HOA's private Facebook group with a post that scorched my screen. Aggressive local holdout menaced us during routine boundary check. Authorities sided with the bully over upstanding residents. She spliced my "calling the sheriff" line to make me sound like an unhinged vigilante. Sarah spots it that evening via a screenshot from a sympathetic neighbor. She bursts into the kitchen, phone shaking. Harlan, She's slandering you online. I scan the 42 comments. Strangers labeling me thug, entitled relic. One even sniping. Shouldn't coordinate neighborhood watch if he's the threat. My jaw clenches. Sarah's mortified. Parents at school will whisper. I squeeze her hand. Let her spade her own pit. We've got the receipts. Inside, I'm seething. Barbara's not chasing justice. She's torching reps, and this is just warm-up. That night, I perch by the pond with Mom. The water laps softly, scented with wet earth and herbs. She casts a glance. Some people got more spite than smarts. Spot on. But spite be damned, I ain't folding. 3 weeks post-trespass. I'm hauling mulch to the garden beds at dawn. Frost crunching underfoot. When I hit the back gate, the one on the legal easement slicing through a sliver of HOA turf to our rear yard. It's padlocked shut, chain thick as a python. No key. No note. Just a gleaming FFU. Idle the truck. Debating rage versus awe at the gall. Rage wins. Good thing I pack bolt cutters for just in case. Snip snip. 60 seconds flat. I mulch. Exit. Drop the severed chain like a mic. Next dawn. Beefier lock. Thicker chain. Most would have erupted, but I'd wised up post-ambush. Document, then dominate. After her first stunt, I'd rigged a trail cam in the Oaks, motion-triggered, infrared, audio snag. I yank the SD card, cue the footage. There. Barbara at 5:45 a.m. Range Rover idling, in tactical gloves and a forehead lamp like a budget spy. Audio catches her grumble. See how he likes being locked out of his precious hideaway now. Triple backups, hard drive, USB, cloud. I march to the police station. Officer Mike Ruiz, my old high school buddy, now a sergeant with a no BS vibe, sips from a mug etched "Your opinion isn't evidence." I slide him the USB. Watch this. He does. Poker-faced. Criminal tampering at least. Obstruction. She'll whine HOA gate. Arrest. Not yet, I say. Build the dossier first. Smart move. He agrees. We log the report. Snag a case number. Advice gold. In suburb wars. Timestamped video trumps tales. Courts crave patterns. Mike UPS patrols. I fire Barbara a certified screed. Removing your illegal lock from my easement gate. Colorado statute deems access interference criminal under section 18-4-501. Repeat. And it's charges plus suit for costs. Rational folks would have quit. Barbara, she summons an urgent HOA huddle. I get the tea later from a wavering board eye. Barbara rants about safeguarding assets with private guards. For bulk, they've blown $6,500 on legals for zilch but bad vibes. A retired CPA pipes up. This is your grudge. Burning our dues. She snaps. Weakness tanks values. Residents will riot. She casts me as a scheming saboteur tanking their equity. Vote 5-2 for a $12,000 Billings law firm retainer. Days later, their missive lands. Pompous legalese demanding I halt aggressions and mediate. I read it aloud to Sarah over tacos. We crack up at hostile acts. You mulched and snipped your own chain, she wheezes. Public enemy number one. Humor aside, stakes spike. Barbara's not litigating to win. She's bleeding me dry. Joke's on her. I'd bankrupt before budging. Next month. Agency knocks multiply like unwanted guests. Creeps in petty. Swells to siege. Health department first. Weary Inspector Todd raps the door, clipboard limp. Anonymous tip on pond pollution from your yard waste. I tour him. Tests. Checks nada. Spotless, he mutters. Caller wasted our day. Days later. Environmental quality. Cattle? Wait. No livestock here. But tip says runoff algae. Half-day probes. Water's crystal. Inspector. Impressive stewardship. Then zoning. Unlicensed pond tours? I blink. Tours? This is home. She sighs. Must check complaints. Zero proof. 3 tips. 3 agencies. 36 hours apart. All anonymous from willowcreekhoa.net IPs. Paranoia? Nah. Pattern. I trace it back. Barbara's fingerprints everywhere. But I play long game, adding to my evidence vault. Whispers in the neighborhood turn. Folks side-eye her at block parties. One evening, Sarah comes home fuming. A parent asked if you're that pond hoarder. Her lies are spreading. I nod, simmering. Time to counterpunch subtly. The escalation hits fever pitch when I find the pond's edge tainted. Mom calls me out at twilight. Harlan, the fish are floating belly up. Heart sinks, base gasping, water fouled with a chemical sheen. Vet? No. But I call a water specialist. Report, ethylene glycol, antifreeze. Deliberate dump. Trail cam catches it. Midnight, Range Rover creeps up. Hooded figure pours from a jug. Face flashing Barbara, smug in the glow. I bolt to Mike. Poisoning wildlife? Felony territory. He nods grim. Search warrant on her garage. Matching jug. Half gone. Stained rags. Gloves reeking. She's cornered. But Barbara's finale? That 911 call. She spotted me by the pond, fixing a bench on my land. Panics. Dials. Armed intruder on HOA Commons. Send help. Dispatch. Ma'am. Records say that's Brooke's property. She doubles down. No. It's ours. Squatter alert. Unbeknownst to her. As watch coordinator, I'm looped in real time. I hear her fabrications live. Heart pounding but mind racing. This is the kill shot. I don't confront solo. I tip a local reporter, Jenna Hale, with the dossier videos, reports, timelines. Off record, why hold back? She asks. Peace over publicity, but I greenlight the story. Airs night before mediation. HOA boss's reign of terror, false calls, poison plots, clips of her trespass, locking, dumping, juxtaposed with her teary victim interview. Mike on cam, evidence points to tampering, charges loom, social explodes, 900 comments torching her, sharing HOA horrors. Board implodes, resignations flood. Insurance dumps her for willful crime. Her email pings that night. Blank subject. Resign if you drop everything. Mistakes were made, no jail. Sarah softens. Pity? Lena snarls. She toxed your pond. Slandered you. Let her squirm. I ghost it. Stealing for dawn. Mediation room reeks of bad coffee and tension. Me and Lena versus Barbara and her fidgety lawyer. Mike looms. DA Elena Torres presides. Subpoenaed board eyes squirm. Commissioner Hale, no relation, kicks off. State your case, Mr. Brooks. I rise. Calm. No compromise. Expose the crimes. Projector hums. Trespass vid her marching horde. Board eyes wince. Gate lock audio her mutter. False 911 playback her lies booming. Complaint timeline all traced to her. Motive: HOA minutes plotting adverse claim to dodge developer fraud suits over pond access. Hype. Finale: poison vid. Vet report. Warrant hauls. You didn't seek sharing, you schemed theft to shield your ass. Poisoning my legacy along the way. Silence deafens. Torres. Charges. All in. Lena. Board oust her. Apologize publicly. Cover $15,000 fees or civil hell. Barbara weeps. Unfair. We were promised views. Mike cuffs her. Tampering. False report. Miranda writes. Deputies haul her sobbing form. Board huddles. Caves. She's out. Apology today. We exit to crisp air. Lena. Feel vindicated? Exhausted. But whole. Months on. Barbara pleads down. Misdemeanor false report. Probation. Felony poisoning 18 months suspended. $20,000 restitution. 150 hours service. Loses marketing gig. Sells house at $80,000 loss. Flees to Nevada. HOA pays up. Publishes apology lauding my restraint. I don't hoard victory. Host quarterly pond picnics for neighbors. $15/head. Proceeds to watch program. Sold out. Kids splash. Elders chat. Restitution funds Evelyn Brooks Eco Scholarship for local green studies. First winner. A Bordy's kid. Eyeing wetlands at CU. Newspaper follow-up. From feud to fellowship. Suburban standoff spawns community fund. Mom frames it. She gardens pondside daily, quipping about outlasting suburban sultans. I donate pond edge strip to Conservancy Eternal Wild. Sign. Brooks Preservation Easement. So that's how I turned an HOA despot's 911 blunder into her downfall. Patience. Proof. No rage. She dug deep. I supplied the shovel. Got your HOA saga? Spill in comments. And if battling one, document relentlessly. Stay frosty, truth's your nuke. But here's the kicker. Was Barbara the real villain? Or just a puppet of a system that empowers petty empires? Yes or no, sound off below.